By the way, another friend of the show, Eugene Mulero, is a senior reporter and editor at Transport Topics. He covers Congress, he covers elections, he covers federal agencies. By the way, he also is the author From Rodeo to TDC, A History of the National Truck Driving Championships and National Step Van Driving Championship, first edition. Before Transport Topics, he worked at E&E News, CQ Roll Call, and the Arizona Republic. He is a professor of professional practice at George Mason University. We are thrilled to welcome our friend on. Is this your first time on here, Eugene? Is this your first time on here, isn't it?
I think it's my first time with the new format, but nice. I'm a longtime fan and a longtime listener.
And we are longtime friends of his as well, too.
Absolutely.
And by the way, guys, go to ttnews.com. If you head on over there, you will find his byline and a lot of great content, a lot of great stories. I'm going to let Dave take this one. Dave, take it away.
Whoa, thank you very much, Eugene. Really great to talk to you. Haven't seen you in a while, but it's welcome here. So we're doing things a little bit differently, as you probably have heard, or maybe have actually heard. So we're kind of squeezing a lot of stuff in, and we're putting 30 pounds of rice in a 20-pound bag here. And maybe that's what the big, beautiful bill might turn out to be about. I know the ATA put out a piece that 7 good things about the big, beautiful bill in terms of trucking. And the bill was the topic of your latest article called Trucking Industry Praises Trump's, quote, big, beautiful bill, unquote. ATA President Spears touts economic benefits of bill, which was signed into law on Independence Day. Is that the general, and that's ATA's take? Folks outside of the organization, though, Eugene, are you getting the same kind of response from the industry at large?
So that's a good question, because when you look at the executive class, the business ownership class of the industry, the majority, I want to say the consensus, is that they do echo ATA, that there is this full support, this embracing of this law. They point to the tax structures, the permanent extension of some of the tax breaks, and they actually argue that in the medium term, there's going to be some revenue that will be generated indirectly because of the law, and that revenue would then be invested into industry, the freight sector, supply chain connectivity, et cetera. And then this is something that is also being echoed throughout the business community. So the Business Roundtable, the Chamber of Commerce, the National Retail Federation, all of these major interest groups, the Petroleum Institute, et cetera, they are echoing that sentiment. Obviously, when you take a step back and look at the totality of the bill, there are aspects of the bill that, you have some, proponents of the social safety net who argue that there's the potential for some social services to be difficult to obtain or be missing in the future, and that could have either a direct or indirect link to the workforce. And also, when you look at automation, there are some investments in automation and emerging technologies. But again, long answer, but when you look at the actual ownership, industry leadership, there are all in supporting this bill.
Yeah, some of the concern, by the way, and hey, Eugene, one of the concerns is that a lot of people also think with the social service cuts, and this is neither here nor there, that's a debate that needs to happen in this country on a regular basis, is the problem is a lot of people feel like it's a poison pill waiting for 2026 to happen. So a lot of the really deeply concerning cuts, some people are maybe banking on them kind of going away as well too. That they won't happen or they won't be felt until after the midterms. That's part of the concern as well, that people won't feel the effects of those cuts until we're well into this bill, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Some of the provisions in the law were written that that will be triggered, in late 2026. So after the November midterms in 2026, and even into 2027, so a year after the midterms. And to get a little bit into the weeds here, Jimmy, there have been many instances, even in recent years, where a massive law like the infrastructure law, the Inflation Reduction Act, all during the Biden administration, that Congress, after the fact, passed laws that either did some correcting to those massive laws or tweak here and there. So you have a scenario that if, let's say, when you're talking about food stamps or Medicare, Medicaid, you can see a Congress in the 2026 cycle revisit those issues and say, well, let's reallocate more funds for rural hospitals. So this is still a living, legislative issue on Capitol Hill, even though this law was, enacted on July 4th. These issues are, front and center still on Capitol Hill, especially during the annual funding process. So you can have the funding committees in the House and Senate redirect a lot of money for, let's say, food stamps in fiscal 2026.
One of the things, and we're going to switch gears here again because we had a limited time, Eugene, but one of the things that has been a theme in trucking now for the last certainly 10, if not 15, 20 years, is getting young people into trucking, going to the high schools and all of that stuff. We've talked about that already this morning. Pell Grants and things weren't used for vocational training, tech schools, but now they will be. So I don't know what the reality will be in terms of how open these doors will be and how many doors will be open for kids with Pell Grants and the 529 accounts and things, being able to use it for the quote short-term educational programs. But is that going to float to the top like cream in a bottle of milk is one of the really saving graces of this whole thing?
Yeah, there are educational and funding accounts in this law that are for state agencies to use primarily for technical high schools and community colleges to get people into the trades, plumbing, electrician, carpentry, and commercial transportation. So you can, a state agency can use the discretion of that money to determine whether they want to, expand their community college trucking CDL initiatives. So hypothetically, Texas or New Mexico, they can devote more money to invest in those educational programs and ideally get, younger community college students to learn to get a CDL and even get a CDL eventually. So that is a recruitment retention part of this law. It's it's not a direct line, to the trucking workforce, but, it's a way to, get the community colleges involved and, ideally recruit these younger drivers into the workforce.
Whoa, okay, that puts a little bit of kind of a blanket on this a little bit in terms of having this. In other words, it's not a done deal for me to be in high school and to get a Pell Grant or something to go to trade school.
Yeah, so
okay.
there will be an application process. Yes, there are layers of administrative processes to get that individual into the pipeline in an educational setting and then recruit that individual toward a CDL, but then the law is funding, all of this trajectory to get that individual to ultimately have a CDL. So the goal is that this will work in, helping get more people, as commercial drivers. But yeah, to your point, it's not a direct line that, money from the law will go to directly improving the trucking workforce.
Eugene Mulero has joined us this morning. Told you, man, a fast and furious format that comes right at you. You can find him over at Transport Topics, where he has a byline and a series of great headlines. Really quickly, you got about 20 seconds here. What are you working on next? What's the next big story you're cooking up?
This week, we got Secretary Sean Duffy before the House Transportation Committee. He's going to talk about the big, beautiful bill, big, beautiful law. He's going to talk about the fiscal 2026 budget and also transportation safety concerns around the country. On Wednesday at 10 a.m., the Transportation Committee, I'll be there. They'll be hosting Secretary Duffy.
Thank you, sir, and best of success as always, and continued success as always. We will talk to you sooner rather than later. Thank you, Eugene.
You got it.
Eugene Mulero, of course, friend of the previous platform and now a friend of Nemo Nation.